Hi guys, it's your girl Fab, and today I'm going to talk about true forgiveness. Yes, true forgiveness, how to forgive yourself.
Personal integrity would say, I'm supposed to do the things to make me feel better, which is stop eating crazy, start working out, stop, treating myself bad, stop talking to myself bad, stop being with people that don't like me, I'm not being around people that just tolerate me. If you don't celebrate me, don't tolerate me, don't worry about it. If you ain't excited about
Okay, I
me,
decided today that I'm going to talk about forgiveness, and I'm going to talk about self-forgiveness. Because I feel like we often get caught up in how to forgive others and how we're going to get past certain wrongdoings. But at the end of the day, we have to learn how to forgive ourselves for the things we do. And one thing, me being, I could be so hard on myself, and I used to be way worse. And me being a Virgo with my mind spinning all the time, like I did not know how to forgive myself. It took me a long time to get to the point where I knew how to start to forgive myself for the things I did. Mind you, I was pretty much like a goody two shoes, or what was considered a goody two shoes. So forgive myself shouldn't be so hard, because compared to others, the things that I did were like lightweight to them and to general society. So why was I being so hard on myself is what I didn't quite understand. With that said, over the years, I started to get into certain practices and to get into a certain mind frame and to start to shift my mind around the idea of really, really learning how to forgive myself. And so with that said, there are certain things that I do every time I need to forgive myself for certain things, because at the end of the day, as life continues, we're going to continue to make mistakes, and we're going to continue to need to forgive ourselves fully. So I'm going to go into some ways to truly forgive yourself. Tune in. I say when forgiving yourself, I say the first thing is to chill with the mistake. Like, chill with the mistake, acknowledge it. Give it its 5 seconds of fame, 5 minutes of fame. Give it its little time, its little moment that it's trying to have. Don't ignore it. Acknowledge it. Chill with it. Sit with it. I could even go as far as to say, be with the pain, and that does apply to certain things, but mistakes are varied. So the first thing I'll say is chill with the mistake. Acknowledge it. You have to acknowledge that something you did was off or wrong. And then you have to come to terms with the fact that you are an imperfect being and then you made that mistake. And it's okay, because you're not alone. You're definitely not alone, and probably won't be the only time you make a mistake. So you have to acknowledge its existence. Come to terms with it. Don't brush it under the rug. Don't beat around the bush. Come to terms with it. Look yourself in the mirror. Understand that and identify it as a mistake, an accident, something that was not supposed to happen, but did, unfortunately. That's what I think is the first thing to do. Because if you don't do that, then there's really nowhere to go from there. So that's one of the first steps in learning how to truly forgive yourself. Another one is knowing that forgiving yourself is a process. It's not like a deadbolt. Like, it is a process. It's going to take time. Especially, like I said before, depending on where on the spectrum it is as far as mistakes is concerned, you need to acknowledge it as a process, and that it might take some time. Give yourself that time. Similar to like the stages of grieving, similar to so many other things. It's not like a one size fits all, snap your fingers and it's all resolved. You might forgive yourself and then like lean back a little bit and start getting in your feelings again and repeating certain elements of the grieving process for the sake of the mistake, and you might have to revert back and then start all over again. But the point is to give yourself that time. It's okay to acknowledge your mistakes and give yourself that time. Everything is not going to be rush in life, so acknowledge it, and and then give yourself time to process it. It is a process. It's not a quick thing every single time. And then once you acknowledge it and acknowledge it as a process, then you can consider it a lesson learned. That's not to say archive it forever. You're gonna have moments where it creeps back up, tries to make you remember it. And depending on how hard you are on yourself, you might beat yourself up. You might repeat some cycles. You might revert, like I said before. But the point is, over time will definitely help you heal and help you understand that everyone makes mistakes. It's okay. And, some are bigger mistakes where people might definitely need assistance and help, mentally, emotionally, physically, and otherwise. But for the most part, to truly forgive yourself, that is the whole point of why it happened and why it transpired, why you made the mistake. To ultimately come to terms with the fact that it is a lesson learned, to take the nuggets of wisdom and knowledge and understanding from whatever it is you did or happened, or whatever altercation or situation you were in with another person, or even with yourself. The inner struggle is real sometimes. And just consider it a lesson learned. Archive it for the moment and understand and learn the lesson. And take that and allow it to make you become wisdom. Allow it to make you become wiser so that you can not repeat it again and avoid having to repeat certain things to learn those same lessons over and over again. So it doesn't have to be a vicious cycle. So acknowledge it. Acknowledge what happened. Give yourself time because it's a process, and consider it a lesson learned. Become wiser for it. And you can even later on, possibly, you're more than likely going to impart wisdom on another person who might not go through that experience. And you might even help people avoid the experiences that you've had altogether by learning from your experience. So with that said, those are my little tips to how to truly forgive yourself. Because oftentimes we know how to forgive others. We know how to get past things with others, but we don't know how to truly forgive ourselves so that we can move forward with life. So I've left you with that. Please be sure to subscribe to my channel if you have not yet. Please also be sure to leave a comment if you have one. And also follow me on Fabfola on Instagram. Thank you so much. As always, until the next video, peace.